dealing with disappointment as an INFJ. Last week, I was faced with a certain revelation about one of my favorite writer directors in all of cinema. He was a man I had looked up to as a heroic figure, an inspirational icon, a kindred spirit in some sense. A man whose self-effacing humor and awkward geekiness matches my own. Someone whose words effectively changed my entire outlook on life, and for that reason, I held him in high esteem. After accusation and revelations about him, I felt extremely dismayed and distressed. It felt like I was adrift, like I had no truth to latch onto, and like the rug had been pulled out from under me. And then came the exceptional questions, the dark ruminations, like the ones I mentioned at the beginning of this article. Maybe there was an overreaction, and I suppose a lot of the blame for this can be placed on me for putting someone like this man up on a pedestal. Still, I'm not a native person, but I do tend to give others benefit on the doubt, especially when I respect their character or, at least, my perception of their characters or work. So, how does one cope with the feeling of the disappointment when a friend disappoints you or a hero far from grace? I don't have all the answer, of course, and this is an entirely subjective view from an average person, but I do know a few methods we can utilize in order to regain our perspective on life, mostly because I've been faced with this kind of dilemma before. The first step is to give yourself time to come to terms with the disappointment and to accept that the person in question is flawed and perfect being, same as you. The second is to simply keep going on forward with your life. The world doesn't stop turning because your heroes failed to live up to your expectation. Finally, use this as an opportunity to live and grow, both as an individual and in your relationship with close friends. It's like falling in love with someone, but they don't love you back. At least, not in the same way, or the way you want them to. For example, when I love someone, I go all in. They become the center of my world, and my galaxy orbits around them. It's almost obsessive, but in a well-meaning way, I just want the person to know how important they are to me, and that I would do anything to help them or show affection toward them. I do put the person up on a pedestal. However, and that's not completely healthy. People are not perfect, and most of the time, the person I love so much ends up letting me down. Ultimately, I feel like there's no easy way to counter the disappointment and betrayal we feel when people don't live up to our expectation, or even when we ourselves fail to do so. The only thing method I can honestly say is foolproof is to passions and give it time. Time heals all wounds, as they say. And just because the person you thought was so above is all turned out to be gas available and perfect human being doesn't mean that they are failure. In the case of the Gable writer director I mentioned early on, his work remained as inspiring and awesome as it always has been. And yes, just are problematic in some areas as well. It doesn't change just because he's an immoral person, as my friends have told me in the past few days. Some of the works of art we admire as society were created by despicable people. It doesn't develop the work itself, rather, to present us with a glimpse into what that person, and all of us, could be when we practice, when we preach, and live as our best selves. And as for the person I loved, well, that was a complex situation. I do know that the experience changed me in a profound way. I've become more open to things I would have shut out or ignored in the past. I think the experience of being in love with her is something I will always treasure, and I believe that she played a part in making me a better person because of it. It may have not worked out the way I wanted to, but I wouldn't erase the feeling from my memory or change the way things happened. All I know is I opened myself up. I love someone, and that has shaped me into a new creation. In a way, facing disappointment when things don't go our way or when we feel betrayed gives us an opportunity for immense personal growth. We find ourselves faced with the mundane reality that we are fallible as we make mistakes and discover how tragically imperfect we are. And yes, there's a void left in our souls when the person we cherish leaves us for someone respectless or down. Nothing will ever change that fact, I'm afraid. But that doesn't mean we give up. We can fill that void by volunteering our time to help others who are in need, or by meeting new people and cultivating friendships. We can learn from our experience and do better, embracing our flaws a tool we can use to develop into more stable and mature human beings. Key is to open to our weaknesses as well as our strength, and to use that knowledge to become more well-rounded individuals. I'm not perfect. That writer-director isn't perfect, and the women I love isn't perfect either. However, that doesn't mean we can still inspire one another to strive for more, to be better people, to grow and mature into our ideal selves, and to make the world a better place. That, my friends, is the moral of the story.